Warning. What you are about to see and hear is for entertainment purposes only. The opinions expressed on the show are our opinions and do not reflect the views of BTW 21 or its staff. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel and Chad.
God is looking for someone real. People are looking for something real. Just be real. Welcome back. Podcast with Peckerhead. Your host,
the chicken.
The chicken is Peckerhead. Well, we still ain't named him yet. Paul Farrar named him Peckerhead, so I enjoyed that.
It might stick. I don't know.
I don't know. Until we get a better name for the chicken. Peckerhead.
Okay.
Want to get some more.
So we're here with Don again.
Yeah, Don Cockram.
Yeah.
VFW Post 7800.
Amen. So explain to the layman of everybody out there that listens, what is the VFW? What are we doing? What are we?
Veterans of Foreign Wars.
Veterans of Foreign Wars.
Yes.
That's something to.
That's all I know.
That's something to honor, right?
He's got amen.
To the extent of everything in life,
right? Because we're supposed to be, when you take the oath, as you know, it's foreign and domestic, and then you have these men and women, men and women, who are willing to take on the uniform and travel abroad, all over the world, and fight for our freedom. To look after America's interest. And so I'm extremely thankful.
So then what's the Post then? Is it a place that you gather and have meetings, or what is the Post?
At our Post, we have just a basic Post. There's a lot of posts that have what they call a canteen in them. It's basically just a bar. We don't have a canteen in ours. We don't do the bingo. We have it available where people can rent it. Hold birthday parties
I've seen y'all have redone it.
Yeah, well,
it's been a lot of work doing it.
Well, my mother's rented your guys' place before for my son's graduation party.
My wife did, yeah.
And it was a beautiful building. It had enough room for everybody to come in. People were coming in from Connecticut. People were coming up from Florida. People were just gathering around, and you guys rented your facility. There was a kitchen in it. We were able to warm up the food that we had purchased and have a nice hall room where everybody could sit together. My mother said, at my house. And I was like, there ain't no way, Mama. I've got so many. We got people coming in from different states, but you guys rented her the facility, and it had a nice fire pit on the side of it, back side of it.
Yes, sir.
And it was just, I want to thank y'all, not knowing what everything was involved in it.
Right.
But want to thank y'all for giving us that opportunity to rent that place from you. So that just gives you a little bit of funding when you rent those places to keep going. So you don't have the facility like these bigger cities where there's a canteen in there, where there's bingo and everything going on. How do y'all raise the money that you do to stay afloat? I'm sure there's repairs that need to happen, new roofs, new gravel, new, all these things. Do you do fundraisers, or how do you stay afloat?
We do. It takes more than just renting the building to pay the bills.
It was so cheap. I'm sure just it was what it costs on the lights. You guys were real reasonable on the price.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, we got the cheapest rental price.
You do, yeah,
in the county,
you do, right? Yep, in the whole county.
But it's 2,550 square foot in that building.
That's a nice hall. That's a nice hall.
Plenty of parking, beautiful front yard,
2-acre lot,
right?
Which is primarily flat.
Yep.
And private.
Mowed up.
It's private.
You know,
Very
there's no
private.
neighbors all hanging around. And
There is a pavilion out back that's got a fire pit, or you can use it to cook on. But the main fundraisers that we got a raffle going on right now. We're raffling off a Mossberg 590
Nice.
12 gauge.
hold up.
Yeah, shotgun.
Hold up, I don't have any tickets for
I
that.
I will come by Voice and Holland and see.
Hey!
Yeah. So
Give me one.
a lot of
Give
people,
me two of them, if you don't mind.
you and your wife have been very supportive to the business that we have kept going for Lock Boys.
Yes, sir.
Both of you have been in that building numerous times, and it's a pleasure to see because you always have a smile on your face. Now, your missus is here, but she didn't want to come on the camera.
She's
Right.
too shy.
But I did want to call out to her. Daniel
Sweetheart.
really enjoys her friendship.
Yeah, she's
And I
been a good
believe
friend for a long time.
Daniel told me that before we started this show that he actually knew your wife before he knew you. Now, I was the opposite. I knew you before I knew the
Right.
missus. So it was good to have both of you out here. I wish you would come and join us.
Great Patrick Indian.
Maybe we could get her
County.
out on the second half. We'll
Maybe.
see what we
We'll
can
see.
do.
Yeah, she's going
We'll
to
just-
try to
but,
fill it out. Look at her. She's still shaking her head.
Nope, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. But it's good that both of you are down here, and I appreciate your travel down to Martinsville.
Yes.
What we're doing is just trying to bring a little bit more awareness to what we do have in Patrick County.
Right.
We have a platform here that we could come here and communicate down here in Martinsville, where there's a little bit more people, a little bit more action going on. So maybe we can have a canteen up there at the VFW. No, I'm just kidding. We can open it up a little bit more up there. But we just want to bring some awareness. We have a great community up there in Patrick County.
We do.
And now we have a little bit of an outlet to express that a little bit. And that's why we invite some of these pillars in our community, like you both, to come down here and just chat
Right.
with our people
Right.
and
Just chat, letting
communicate.
who you know you are.
Right.
That's one thing I want to bring back. We kind of just jumped right into the VFW Post, but I mean that's what you represent. But I mean, if you wouldn't mind, could you give a little bit of history of yourself, like where you're from? You don't have to say when you're born. Well, we
Sure.
do. I mean, we just it's.
I mean, I'm born mid 60s.
There you go. Amen, brother.
Right, born in the hospital there in Stewart.
Yeah.
Really?
Raised in Patrick Springs,
Yes.
up Tudor Orchard Road, as a matter of fact.
Okay. Yeah.
The house up there that used to be the soup kitchen that.
Oh, right there in the corner, right
Yes,
there.
sir.
Where,
Yeah.
Wow.
Our family was raised there.
Get outta
until, till Mom and Daddy split, and then Daddy sold the place to Locke.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful house. I know the house is humble.
It's little.
I was going to say humble, but you say little. The house is little.
That's what I was raised in.
But the country that it's in and the view that it has.
Oh, yeah.
You could see all of Bull Mountain from there and the country. So, we didn't need to be inside like the kids do nowadays. So
No.
I'm sure that was good living back in the
Oh,
day. No
sure.
matter how
Right.
big the house was,
Sure.
all you needed was a place to lay down.
That's
Yeah.
all I wanted.
Because Mama wouldn't let you come in the house until it was time to lay down. I'm sure, But yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I know that house extremely well. That's great.
That's cool, man.
That is
No,
really
but
cool.
after I graduated in '84
From Patrick County?
from Patrick County, I had signed up on the late entry program. I'd already swore in and everything.
Man.
And Patrick County was going to be a rear view mirror town for me.
Right.
I was done. I wasn't coming back. And
Yeah. Done that before, too.
So I left, went in the Army, traveled the world, and wasn't smart enough to stay in and retire. So I did 8 years and then got out.
8 years.
Shoot,
I
8
thank
years,
you-
man.
I
Yeah,
thank you for
yeah.
your service,
Thank you.
man.
Greatly
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you very much.
If I knew then what I know now,
Kinda
Probably would have
stuck with
stayed
it.
in,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we all have that. We
Oh,
all
yeah.
have that.
Oh, yeah. So got out after we came back from Desert Storm.
Really?
Yeah, and stayed out there in northwest Tennessee, out by Fort Campbell, Kentucky,
Yeah.
and stayed there until 2017.
Really?
Yeah, so I started working contract work for the military after I got out, and started going back to the Middle East with the guys contracting.
Oh,
And,
wow.
yeah, spent about 8 years over there contracting in the Middle East.
Man.
That is something that I've learned here recently is, and I have a few other friends that have served, and they've done contract work for the government after they've done their service.
Yeah.
So they're no longer a serviceman, but they're still doing
What they was doing.
basically the
They
same
st-
thing,
right.
Yeah.
Either security or
Right.
basically security, I guess you would say. I
Now,
mean, I don't
Locke
know.
used to tell me when I worked for him for 23 years, so you hear a lot of stories, and there's a lot of comments in Patrick County about creating jobs and creating situations where kids no longer leave Patrick County, that they actually stay there. And he always fought against that. He was like, no, let them leave. Let them go learn something. Let them go experience life,
Yes.
and then bring that experience back.
Right.
And
it
that's-
benefits the community.
And it benefits the community. And I think
Like
that,
he did.
that's what it's done for
Like
you.
they do.
What you all do. What
Yeah.
you do. You went out there, you experienced the world, but then came home and service home.
you
know,
realize
and
where
that-
the simple life's at.
and that's great.
Love it.
And I tell you, I've been all around the world, and I don't think there's no better place in the world I'd rather live.
Amen.
There's
than
just nothing
Praise
like
God.
it.
County, yeah.
Right.
There's nothing like it, and to explain it to somebody who's never lived there, or hasn't been raised there, or born there like you were. Daniel, he was born here in Martinsville Hospital, but they shipped his butt right back to Patrick County.
Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get him out of here quick.
I was born in Martinsville Hospital, and I had a different destination for a little while. I was raised up in Connecticut. I spent some time in California. I spent some time in New Mexico. And then in my early 20s, I came back to Patrick County, and that's just my home.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
The people the community, I mean, the list could go on. The neighbors that are so caring but so far away. I enjoy that,
Right.
I really
Right.
do.
It has its benefits.
It really does. It does.
Majorly good people.
So now when we brought up your missus there, when did you meet her?
I actually knew her before I graduated high school.
Oh, so it's an ex little sweetheart, maybe an
No.
ex little crush?
No. Well, maybe a little crush there,
Yeah.
but it was never
she's
nothing
listening.
there but friendship.
You better be careful. She got those ears wide open.
No,
So
but
you knew her at school.
I knew her.
And
Patrick County.
She rented a trailer from my stepdad.
Okay.
So I'd go over and hang out.
I'm sure. Man of my own words.
Well, and plus back then you only had to be 18 to buy beer.
Oh, sure.
So she was my alcohol hookup. I'm sure the statute of limitations have done passed.
Oh, it's
So,
past. It's past. Oh, so she's a month or two older than you then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's great.
So
That's
so and then I left and went in the Army, and she got married and settled down, and
right.
Then in 2015, I was contracting in the Middle East and I had a stroke.
Man.
Really?
Yeah. And so I got back to the States, and she started talking to me, and she was like, she's like, I just went through a divorce, and
You remember when you used to come over?
next
And she bought you a couple more beers, and next thing you know,
one thing led to another, and here we are. Both of us got rings on.
I
So
love
both
it,
got
man.
rings on, and those rings will probably be on you forever now.
I hate taking
Right.
mine off. I went through an MRI not long ago, and I got home, and I was like, oh man, I had my ring on.
Right, a little bit of heart.
Right.
That's great.
Right.
That's
I
great.
love it. Now, when you were contracted over there, you keep saying Middle East, but can you narrow it down to the country that you were in? I'm just kind of curious because I don't know if you can say that or not. You don't have to, but I was just kind of wondering.
I didn't.
Was it Iraq? Or?
Yeah, I was in Iraq, Kuwait, Qatar, or Qatar, depending on how you want to say
Yeah,
it.
yeah. That just amazes me. I've never been past the mailbox too much.
Abu Dhabi, Dubai. Had the opportunity to go to this little place called Tajikistan.
Oh, wow.
That sounds like trouble.
It
I'd
does.
get in trouble.
He's smiling like they're Stan. Khadija Stan. How you say it? Khadija Stan?
Tajikistan.
Tajikistan.
Yeah, that just sounds like trouble.
Yeah, that sounds like I probably wouldn't bring that up on the podcast.
That's great.
No, if you don't speak Russian, you don't need to go there.
Right. Oh, wow. Huh.
Yeah. So probably 95% of the people there speak Russian.
Really?
And no English. It's not very.
Now, is that considered Middle Eastern? Kind of.
Or I think you're
Syria.
just-
Kind of, sort of.
Let me look at my
But
map
you know what,
here.
what's weird about it is
It's east.
Yeah. What's weird about it is we
We're
don't-
the West.
Yeah. And we always hear the ties that Russia has with Iran. I mean, I'm bringing up politics, kind of. But, I mean, in the media, you always hear about the ties that Russia has with Iran and Syria. I mean, they're in that region. And you don't really realize until you're actually talking to somebody. It's like, hey, you got this little small Kazakhstan or whatever you said it was, where they no, I'm tearing it all to pieces. But they speak Russian. So, I mean, it's like the whole area is still inundated with Russia. It's just weird to me that, you don't think about it when you say Middle East. I think I'm Iranian or Iraq, but then you don't think about like the influence that Russia has in that region. It's just weird to me.
Well, that's
Sorry,
just
I
like,
thought it was wild.
going down to Mexico and El Salvador and Guatemala
Right. Yeah.
and all them places.
I kind of
and then
just
you
put them
have
all in together.
You have America sitting
Yeah.
up there on top, and that's the same thing over there.
Well, until we interviewed Luis Romero, who's from El Salvador, I think of Mexico, it just goes all the way to Panama.
right,
So, I mean,
right,
it's just,
right.
there's Guatemala and there's El Salvador, and I'm like,
And,
really?
and don't you call an El Salvadorian a Mexican,
Yes,
or
do
Guatemalan
not.
a Mexican,
Right,
or
right.
you're going
I
to
mean,
get your
it's
butt
a-
kicked.
Yeah, it's a
So
whole different country.
it's amazing.
It is amazing.
But I'm a very appreciative and honored to be sitting here with you.
right,
Thank you.
I am too, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you.
I respect that to the fullest.
Right.
To serve for our country.
It's an honor
And your
to be
wife,
here.
it's way over there.
Thank you. She's gonna come out. She's gonna come out the second half. I know
She's gonna throw
she is.
something at me.
Now that she sees how laid back the show is, she's gonna come.
But we do
out.
have some pictures. We got
What we
some
got
pictures.
pictures of?
Yeah, the Post. Yeah,
Oh, of the post. There it is.
Right.
Now, what do you have hanging on the wall there?
Okay, all the way in the very back, there's pictured frames, and it's life membership certificates. So
Okay.
Oh, great.
The members that have converted their annual membership to a lifetime membership.
Wow. And these fellows are and women are from Patrick County, or
Yes.
most of them, I
Yes.
would say, are from the Patrick Springs area.
Well, that post started out as the Patrick County Post.
Really, first
It was-
Patrick County Post.
It was the only post in Patrick County.
Wow. Wow.
And now, when you say that, I guess we have more.
There's a post in Medicine.
Okay. So 2 posts.
There's 2 posts in Patrick County.
Wow. VFW Post in Patrick County. One of them is in Patrick Springs. Huh.
That is.
That's a beautiful flag there. Is that wood? What
It
is
is.
that? Yeah.
My wife runs a barbershop uptown.
She does.
Let's do a little plug.
Yeah.
What barbershop's that?
It's Uptown Cuts Barbershop.
I know where that's at.
It's right,
All right.
right beside Sunny Swells Insurance.
Yeah.
Yes.
So-
I've been to court a couple of times, so I was like waving.
I've been over at Sunny Swales begging for forgiveness. So I know where
He
that's
was
at.
he was on our podcast. Old Sonny was there.
Yeah, so one of her customers, he come in one day to get a haircut, and then he realized he didn't have the money to pay her. So he's like, I make these flags, so next time I'm up here, I'll bring you one.
Amen.
It's made out of 2x4s.
Man.
It is heavy.
Wow.
and
That'd be my kind of
beautiful.
payment. I'm like, dude, you just mentioned this
A little
before.
bartering going on.
Right,
Yeah,
right. That's what you got to do in Patrick County.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Boys Holland, I think, is known for bartering.
Yeah.
Now, who we got here? What are you doing? Some wood carving or
Yes,
something?
I've been.
That's
trying,
Sherry over there in the
that is-
background.
That
ain't
is Sherry Cowan.
she? Yeah.
Shout out to Sherry.
Right.
I have been trying to get a carving class off the ground, and it's called Carve with a Vet.
Really?
Man.
Yeah, and some people are like, "Well, I'm not a vet." No, it says "Carve with a Vet." I'm
With.
the vet. So
I'm the vet.
we
Come
go-
carve with me.
Come carve with me, and we
Right.
sit around and BS and.
I love it.
You
Now
know,
these sticks you're
Like we're
using,
doing now.
These are creek brush sticks that already have a twist in them there.
Oh yeah,
See, I've noticed that I live on a creek bottom,
right.
and these vines grow up. I'm not sure what kind of vines they are, and I'm not sure what kind of trees they are, but they kind of grow up in these trees, and they twist them all up when they grow. Then you peel off the vine, and you're left with the walking stick.
There's a really
There's
good
Junior.
picture.
Who's that?
That's my pops. That's
Yeah.
Junior Spence.
Junior Spence. He's a good friend of
Yeah.
mine as well.
Who was that other fella before? I don't
still
think
right
we
there.
mentioned his name. Is that
Oh,
the same guy?
That's me.
Oh, it's you.
That's me.
He shaved his face to come in. He got all purty to
Right,
come
he got
on
all
the
pretty
show.
to be on the show. Didn't recognize him.
But old Junior, he's a good fella. I
Yeah.
really enjoy him too.
Junior is.
That's my pops, man. I love that old guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good dude.
So this is your haul. I mean, look at what
That's
you could rent
Right.
out there.
Yeah.
Right.
That's about Christmas time. I see the Christmas
Oh
tree.
yeah. Yeah, we always. My wife goes over and decorates it for the seasons.
That's awesome.
Now these chairs and tables, they're already at the facility.
Yes.
If you rent the hall,
Yeah.
you have availability to these chairs and the tables. You don't have to bring stuff, and that's half the battle most
Right.
of the time.
Right.
For seating and stuff.
Yeah, Mary's having her
Yeah.
family reunion out there. The Vippermans had been out there several times. Yeah, it's good stuff.
People wanting to have a graduation party for their kids.
Right.
It's a great place to have one.
Excellent place to have one. Nice and private. Have your own thing, whichever one you want to do it.
Absolutely.
Yep. Just take care of the
There
place.
it is.
Oh, so you done
Yeah.
painted it too.
No, it's stained.
Oh, it's stained. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, we just got a new roof put on it.
Oh.
That place is.
There we go. Is that the
yes,
roof?
That is the roof. That's them putting it on.
Oh, I see it over there on the right side now. Cool.
That building has been way overdue for renovations,
Right.
and
What was it before?
That's-
Let's go back a little bit.
all right,
Sorry,
go
Grace.
back. Well, the building was built in 1927.
Dang! Holy moly!
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Al Capone was still running the streets in Chicago. Good Lord!
Most of Patrick County was dirt road, if not all of it.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah. So
right.
Then the Patrick County VFW Post was mustered in June of 1946.
Wow.
Now, I don't know if when it was mustered, if it automatically, set up right there in the VFW building where it's at now.
Yeah.
Or if they started out somewhere else and then moved there later on.
1946.
I was
Yes.
told that between 1927 and 1946, that old house had a little bit of time as a house of ill repute.
Okay.
Yeah.
What, can you explain that a little bit more? Not in full detail.
Kids ask your parents.
Right. There you go. Great answer.
Ask your grandparents. Ask your grandparents.
Yeah, because most of the parents.
Most of the parents, they don't know what they. Yeah, right.
You know, Daniel and I just came back from a place up in Allegheny County named Woody's Campground. And that place started in 1946.
1946.
And it just seems like when we're traveling, we're doing our thing, that we run into things that around 1940s, 1930s, 1940s, it just boomed, and someone with a great mind created something, and it blossomed from there.
Right after World War II, it
Right.
just kind of there was a lot of ideas.
Right.
I mean, I guess they were so focused so many years, oh Lord, on World War. Well, I mean, they just had got out of World War One, and so World War II just started right up, and so the whole country's focused on that. And then when the boys are coming back, women too, when the boys are coming back, I mean, it seems like it's, so many different ideas and growth, and I mean, I know a lot of it turned into a bunch of baloney.
Yeah,
just
but
from
those
big
hard
businesses.
Those hard times bring on great men, right?
Right.
And,
Amen.
great ideas,
Amen.
so.
And working strong, strong workers.
Absolutely.
People that knew what a dollar meant. It's wild. So anyway, we got some more pictures there from the 7800 Post. It's VFW 7800 Post in Patrick Springs.
Beautiful
They're putting
place.
on
Beautiful yard.
the roof there, a new roof. You can rent it out. Huge hall. You got the kitchen?
It's actually, I don't have a picture of the kitchen in here.
Well, I've been there. It's plenty of room.
But it's considered the Stewart VFW.
Really?
The building's in Patrick Springs.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started with that. Don't get me started. I bought a boat last year, and I put down my address as Patrick Springs, and then you look at the area, it says I live in Christ.
Man.
And then the bank said I lived in Stewart, so they were going to decline my loan, and it was just a mess. But, you know.
It was a mess. It's crazy.
But Stewart, and then you have your little A-Rat, you have your little communities around Stewart, so we're Stewart-based.
Right.
Yeah. But I remember going over there in the early 70s with my dad, granddad, going turkey shoots.
Really?
Yeah, on Friday nights they had turkey shoots up there.
Man,
And
I love it.
We would still be doing it today, but somebody bought the land behind us and built a house back
Oh,
there.
man.
Oh, so we're going to have to bring you over some loads of dirt so you can just make a bank or something.
Right.
But that grass front lawn that you guys we were just showing there.
Yeah. Huge.
My son, I have children from 30 to 3. Mm-hmm. And when my oldest son, we got 30 seconds left. When my oldest son graduated, my mom rented your place, and all of his friends thought they could out wrestle me. So I'm out in the front yard on that grass wrestling a bunch of
VFW
at the VFW, wrestling a bunch of 18-year-olds, and I whooped their tail. I whooped it. I did. But we'll be right back in a minute. We're going to take a break, and maybe we could get the missus out.
We'll try.
We're going to drag her.
Please like and subscribe. We appreciate it. Thank you.
I want to do a little bit of delay now.
Look
Yeah.
at- she's stressing out, sweating.
She is.
We had a little delay at the beginning, and our producer was having a fit, so I guess Daniel decided to do it on the second half. But
And we're back.
and we're here.
You're joining us here on the Be Real, the podcast. Be Real, the podcast.
Look it up. YouTube.
Thank
Check
you.
it out.
Please subscribe to us if you would. It helps us out greatly. You always hear it on all these, and I say it every time on the YouTube. Every time, man. Good Lord. You know, it's not going to really help us out, but it will help us out because the algorithm, the more people subscribe to it or like it or whatever, it kind of shares it more and more. And we just want to get the word out because we are a local podcast about local people, about local places. And we love them, especially our own in Paget County.
We make no money at this, no sponsorship. Well,
No,
the
we got
sponsorship,
sponsorship,
the sponsorship we have
Boys
is
Holland Veterinary Services,
Right.
and pet transport,
Right.
where you can get your pet transported anywhere.
But they don't give us any money. They're a cheap ass business.
Is it?
They don't help out.
They don't help me.
I'm just joking.
You own
they
them.
help out. they help us out, but we don't make
Peckerhead,
it.
what do you think about it?
We don't make any money at this. Our guests don't make any money at this. You know,
Right.
we
You
don't.
mean I ain't getting paid?
Oh, we didn't tell. I
Wait
said
till
that
after
out
the
loud.
podcast.
After the and we're just supporting our community.
Yes,
So
and we
we're-
love them. Want to get some more.
So we're here with Don again.
Yeah, Don Cockram.
Yeah.
VFW Post 7800. His old lady's over there. I mean, Lisa.
No, see,
Trying to get her out here.
I know that they ride motorcycles, so that's his old lady.
do.
He will kill you over her.
He will.
Once a man,
I'm dead.
Once a man calls his wife an old lady, you're
No,
done.
that's what
you're
you call them.
done.
Yeah,
you
it's-
ain't gonna have.
it's-
But y'all ride.
Yes.
Yes.
What do you ride?
We have a 2016 Harley Tri-Glide Ultra Classic.
Now that Tri-Glide also.
We saw 'em.
We saw him at the fair up there in Paget County.
Parade.
The
Christmas
parade.
parade.
What,
Yeah,
what did I
Christmas
say?
parade. Fair.
Fair.
Oh. It was like a fair to me. It was like fair to me.
There was a Ferris wheel.
It was going around, but yeah. I had some coffee later that
We had
day.
some coffee.
Yeah,
We had some coffee.
Says the man wearing the sparkly glasses and the big L. Oh, I could tell they were. But y'all had a good time.
It was cold that day, so you had to stay warm.
It was cold. We did stay warm. But you and your wife looked like you were having a great time.
I had a blast.
Yeah, it's always
that's our people. Those are our people.
Anytime I can go out and try to represent VFW Post 7800, I
Just
try
do
to do it. if it, it's at the expense of making myself look like an idiot doing it.
And you didn't. You looked festive,
Yeah,
and your missus looked festive,
Right.
and you guys should have won some kind of award for festiveness.
Right. They're always
That was
good people.
great.
Really good people. And like you said, representing is the main thing, and just getting out there and just knowing it.
Because I
for
thought
other
you,
people to see it.
Right, because I thought you were having a good time until I saw her on the back, and she was smiling ear to ear. So I know you guys were having a good time. That was great. I enjoyed that.
Well, if you would go back a little bit, we talked about you serving, and then you went into contract business. But how did you become the commander of the 7800? And when first, I guess you would say. How and when? When and how?
21 was when I became the commander.
Really?
I got out of the military in 92 and was living in Clarksville, Tennessee. There's nice VFW there. And from 1992 until November of 2017, I had never been asked to join the VFW.
Really?
Never. Was never approached to it.
Now, I do have. I'm sorry to interrupt you because I know you're thinking on this one too. But I do this on our show. For those of us that don't know, because I don't know, I've not served in the military. How'd the VA treat you?
I'm actually pleased with how
You are?
with the VA
Okay, well, good.
treatment that I get from them.
Okay. So you see it because I see a lot of negativity in the press.
I see it both ways.
I see it both ways.
But
yeah.
there is a lot of negativity, like Daniel said.
I just
So good?
I just
Everything's
went through having my right shoulder operated on at the VA, and I'm very pleased with what they've done with me there.
Awesome.
So
Well, I didn't mean
that's
to
great to
pause you
hear.
there. I
no,
just
it's
was.
fine.
It just something hit me.
Well, it hit them because there are these stories where, they're not getting treated right, or they're not getting the treatment that they should.
Right.
Right.
Or,
Hours and hours.
And it's not towards the VFW. I believe our hesitation. It's why is there somebody that served for our country sleeping on the streets?
Right.
Why is somebody that served our country being put on the back burner to get a hip replacement? For financial
When we're taking care of
assistance,
migrants,
and we're taking
illegal
care of
migrants.
Illegal.
we're sending millions
migrants.
of dollars all over the world,
Right.
And, but to hear good news, that's great.
It
You
is.
know, and they are. I guess the majority of them are trying to do the best they can.
Yeah.
They
probably all are. Just it's held up by politics and
By politics.
bullshit.
Bureaucracy.
Yeah, it's just bullshit. Really, that's what it is.
Good. So you were asked to join, or you spent a lot of the time and wasn't asked.
Right.
Now you have to be asked by a member
No.
to join, or how does that work?
No, there's some organizations that you have to be, you have to ask them to join. But with the VFW, really they don't need to be invited or asked. If you got the credentials to show that,
Where you've been a veteran of foreign war.
You've been a veteran of foreign wars. Now there are a couple of loopholes that you can go, like if you were stationed in Korea, if you were stationed in Japan, and oh man, I just drew a blank. There's an award you can get while you're active, and that does qualify you to be in the VFW.
Okay.
So now, when you brought up Korea and Japan, are you speaking of people that are brought there today? That war is no longer active, that they could still qualify for that, or
If they are stationed in Korea or Japan, that qualifies them to be in the VFW.
Wow.
See, now Korea, that war's still not officially over.
Really?
It's just on a ceasefire.
Huh.
right?
Yeah, my boy was in the Air Force, and he was stationed in South Korea, which is Osan.
Osan Air Base,
Yeah, that's where he was at. Mm-hmm. That's pretty wild, man.
Yeah. So anyway, I moved back here, and then I get invited by one of my grandkids to go to Stewart Elementary School for the veterans ceremony they're going to have up there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. I've never been to any of this stuff when I was living out in Tennessee.
Right.
So come back to Patrick County, and I'm like, man,
we're going to honor you.
Showing some love to
Amen.
the vets around here,
Amen.
And so I got there, and this guy asked me, he's like, you was in Desert Storm. I was like, yeah. He's like, you remember VFW? I was like, no. He's like, why not?
Right.
So then he invited me to come out to the post to the next meeting, and I went out and I joined, and
That was 7,800.
that's 7,800.
Wow.
And I was standing there, and I'm like, so the VFW and the Stewart post. I was like, where is the Stewart post? And they're like, you're standing in it.
Patrick Spring down there in the bottom.
Right.
I had an uncle. My oldest uncle, Uncle Greg, was in Korea, and now that was during the war.
Right.
He was my oldest. But I like that even though that maybe we're not shooting and we're not engaging as hard as we were, that they're still honored if they served on that post.
Yes, sir.
And
They
that
would
come
have.
back, and then they would have.
They would have.
And they will.
And they
if
will.
it comes to
right,
it.
Right.
Daniel and I both have not served in our military for different reasons. All of the same. I had 2 children. I felt
Producing babies.
I had two children. I'm working on my 8th. My 8th will
We
be
laid back
my
and
8th
just produced kids.
my 8th baby will be here in about 3 weeks. But my first baby came to me when I was still a junior in high school. So I graduated high school with 2 babies.
Oh, wow.
And I just felt like I needed to take care of them, to give them a father. But then, 9/11 came.
As we were talking about
and,
that. That's a hard.
That was hard because it was our home.
Yes.
And
you don't
that
mess with
brought
home.
in. But backing it up to Desert Storm, I can remember I was in the 8th grade, and I was over at a friend's house. And
when it was like 92?
91.
91.
91,
92.
91.
90, 91.
And I was over a friend's house. His mother just happened to be my teacher as well. And we sat there that evening, and
Shocking.
on TV, and saw for the first time on TV like that, war breaking out.
In reality, I mean, it's happening right now.
Right, and it scared me to death. And you were enlisted and going over.
Yeah.
That's I admire that to the full extent.
I do too.
To
It
the
blows
full
my
extent.
mind.
And I appreciate you, sir.
It's amazing. It really is. So anyway, a little bit more.
Sorry.
Tell us about Commander.
Anyway,
Sorry.
get
We
recruited.
just go all over the
We
place.
do. Wherever. It's be real.
So I joined, and I tell you what, the first year I really struggled with renewing my dues into the VFW. I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, well, if I'm going to do it.
Well, we got busy lives.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. But I was thinking,
Amen to
if
that.
I'm gonna commit to it and tell them I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna be all in on it.
Right.
And so when I done that, that's when I started noticing the difference in myself, the way I looked at the VFW. And then then COVID hit, and our commander at the time, he was not in good health.
Sam.
No, Robert Fain.
Robert Fain. Okay.
And he was not in good health, and he stood up there at the meeting one night and asked for somebody to take his position.
Really?
Because he just said he couldn't do it no more.
Yeah.
And so this gentleman, Tom Inman, he said he would do it. And so they voted him in as commander. And like I said, then COVID hit. So all of our meetings got shut down. And then January 2021, he decides he's going to move to South Carolina to be closer to his grandkids.
Oh.
So then there's opening for the
position.
commander position.
Right.
So our quartermaster at the time, he would do weekly calls to check on everybody, during the COVID. And he called me and he's like, we needed a commander. And he's like, I know you had said something one time about maybe throwing your hat in the ring for it. I told him, I said, Roy, it's like, I'd love to do it. I was like, but for one, I'm not retired military. Two, I didn't hold a real high rank while I was in the military. He said, that has nothing to do with being in VFW as a commander.
Right.
So I was like, well, it's like, if nobody else wants to do it, I'll do it. And he's like, all right, congratulations, Commander.
Really? Wow.
I was like, well,
We're all in.
I was like, you got to ask everybody else. I said, how many people have you called so far today? He said, you're the first one.
Well, that's
So,
great.
Well, you got to find a man that's got the heart for it.
So
or
up
woman.
there in that area, you have a lot of the Fanes. You have a lot
Yes.
of Wyatts.
yes.
I know the Wyatts were big in there. I'm not sure if they still are, but when we rented the place, I think it was Bill Wyatt was still involved in it. I know he's gotten ill here
Yes.
recently.
Yeah,
and
sadly.
sadly, he is a giant in the community.
Oh, yeah.
And really good friend of mine back in the day. But you have those wholesome family names that are in the area that are part of that, and each one of them has sent one of their children off to war, and
yeah.
you know it's honorable what you do. Now, do you get any funding from the whole VFW community to do any of the work that you do, or is it all local raised?
Local fundraiser.
We get very little from the
Little chicken scratch
yeah.
here and there.
You get a little
Wow.
bit here and there, but
Man.
like I said, what we keep the lights on with is donations and rentals and raffles. You know, we had that roof put on,
Yeah.
and we had the shingles donated to us by Builder's First Source out of Johnson City, Tennessee.
That's
I
great.
was going to talk about that.
And so I just had to go to Tennessee to pick them up, and that was an adventure.
I'm sure
and
that was a trip.
Considering
You was talking about
he-
bringing that back,
yeah.
and it was just a little bit overloaded.
Yeah, my 16-foot trailer, that dual axle, but it has never had brakes on it.
Oh, so you had no brakes
Had
and
no
full of
brakes.
asphalt
Is
shingles.
that it right there?
That is it.
That's a load. If anybody knows how heavy shingles are, that's a load on a
Right.
on a pickup
Well,
truck.
they're also stacked in the bed of the truck. That is 50 squares of shingles.
Wow.
That's heavy. That's heavy.
I
And
think
y'all
it-
needed 47?
We needed 43.
43.
But they went ahead and donated in some
Just to make
extras
sure.
Just to make sure.
Ain't that a blessing? Now, where was that exactly?
It was Builder's First Source out of Johnson City,
Johnson
Tennessee.
City. Well, thank y'all, man. That is definitely veteran supported right there. So greatly appreciate y'all.
And this is
a whole
them loading
lot.
you up, I guess.
Yeah, and that's one of their guys there loading the shingles.
Loading it
and
up.
then that's one of my guys standing back there supervising. That's my quartermaster.
I like supervisors. That's my job.
Right. Well, I'm telling you what. Anybody that supports the veterans, that's where I'm at. I mean,
Right.
I don't care if it may cost a little bit more. Sometimes it costs less. But anybody that supports the veterans, I always, when I know Memorial Day is coming up. It's not really a Veterans Day. It is, well, to me, every day is Veterans Day, but it's the memory of those that have given their lives.
Right.
And then you have Veterans Day. Well, I see all these, Apache County News. So I'm sitting there looking at all these businesses that are given to the veterans and, 5% off or whatever, or 50% off, or, buy this, buy that. That sticks in my head throughout the year. I'm like, I want to support the business that's supporting the veterans.
Right.
That's where I want to be. And that's what we need to do as Americans. I mean, can't always buy USA made, unfortunately, because we grab it and throw it away. But what we can support is our own men and women who fight in the military. And you can't just always do that being a taxpayer, but you can if these businesses that stand behind them.
Right.
Like these sons of bitches that was on the NFL that were squatting or
Kneeling.
down or whatever. I ain't watched it since.
Right.
I mean, I loved the NFL. When I was growing up, I was San Francisco 49ers all the way up through the 90s. And I know they were just in the Super Bowl. But when they started doing all that, I was just like, no.
They just have no.
I'm
no
done
clue.
with it. I'm done. No, I am a full-blooded American. They are full-blooded American. They don't know how blessed they are to have that, and I don't want to get on into this because I got a whole. I can tell you, but if you do not support our veterans, because I hadn't, like Chad just said, we've never been in the military, but we are 100% behind the veterans. 100%
Right.
behind people that
Now,
have
not
served.
100% behind every war.
No.
Not at all.
No, but the men and women
but
that
the
have
men
served,
and women that have
and
been
also,
sent over there,
right.
or
and the families that have suffered and worried about every man, every child or husband that they have sent over there overseas, and are they coming back? Are they going to come back? I mean, I don't know how that is. I've never had a wife that's gone over there, or I ain't never went over there. Am I going to see my children?
Well, you came close. Your son went
Yeah.
and served. He was in training to be a police officer in the what branch was
Security
he in?
forces, Air Force.
Air Force.
Yeah.
And he went to Korea.
13 hours away.
And while he was in Korea,
Lord.
I saw a side of him that I never saw before. I have nerves. Like I said, I'm waiting on my 8th kid, and I know what it's like to have that panic. But it was an everyday. I wouldn't say panic in him, but every day excelled. Is my kid coming back? Right.
You start really paying attention.
Now he's
to
paying
North
attention
Korea.
to what North Korea is doing and what's going on, and now you're really involved with something you might have overlooked in the news before, because now that's your child over there.
Right.
And for every family and for everyone who has gone overseas, I am. It's like I feel in debt.
Grateful.
I feel grateful, but I am in debt to them.
I am in debt to them. That's what makes us American.
Right.
I mean, we stand beside our neighbors, whether we've given children or fathers or sons up or daughters or whatever. We're still all Americans, and people forget that. I just don't know. I don't know how they forget it. I guess because we haven't been in conflict for a while, and I don't want to get in any damn conflict. But
so how can people if they're watching this and they don't have they can't rent your hall because they don't live around here or whatever the case, how can they donate to your single
VFW Post?
Okay, if they wanted to make it's tax deductible donation, we are a nonprofit, 501
Awesome.
3C, all them
other numbers.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get it, right?
Yeah. So they could send a check to Post Office, that's VFW Post 7800, Post Office Box 333 in Stewart, Virginia.
We'll have that somewhere. Where
We'll put that up
I would
there.
really like some donations.
333.
We have a little hard time asking people. We don't ask anything.
Right.
Yeah.
But for something like this, I beg.
Yeah.
So I don't ask for myself. I don't ask for us.
Right.
But I beg for you, my friend.
Yes.
I need y'all to prosper. I need y'all to put a new roof on there. I need you to put gutters on there. And I need you to stay open for the next fella to come home and to have,
a place.
And have a place
Right.
to whittle the wood with old Junior Spence.
Yes.
You know?
Whittle the wood, man. Whittle the wood.
Right.
And you need that.
Yeah, I'm not a counselor in no way, shape, form, or fashion.
But almost.
But you are.
But I'm
If
a
you're-
good listener.
If you're sitting there whittling the wood with somebody,
Amen.
you're a counselor.
And
you
you've
know,
been
and you're
there,
so-
man. You know what's going on. It makes me want to go over and whittle some wood.
Well, you're more than welcome. Come
I
on
appreciate
over.
it,
We'll
brother.
have free donuts and coffee. And
Oh, you got me sold. Coffee. I'm a coffee drinker.
I'll bring the donuts.
I've already ate them.
I love it.
sign a release saying,
Yeah.
we're not responsible if you cut. You're losing a digit when you.
Them donuts will do it, man.
Yeah.
Do we have a few more pictures? I think we
Sure,
got.
sure.
I think we got a. Just one. Okay,
Yeah,
that
that's
was
true.
bringing it back.
Yeah, they put them
Lock
on the
it
back
down.
of the trailer, and it was lifting the back tires of the truck off the ground.
Right. Johnson City, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And I can't think enough of those guys that donated that. I mean,
Right.
it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time for loading that up. I mean, they did it for the veterans because y'all served, and it just makes a major difference. Like I said, I mean, that's where I went on my rant about. I am definitely, and I know a lot of people are, going to support veteran-supported businesses.
Yes.
Go ahead.
It don't necessarily.
Click on through.
Yeah, click on through. It's okay.
And
What's
that's at Walmart. Memorial Day, we will be set up. The 25th of May, we'll be set up
With a
doing
shotgun.
are y'all
Poppy
coming up?
Drive at Walmart. We'll have the shotgun out there to.
Mossberg.
That's.
I want to win it. So when you come by, make sure Chad buys me a couple tickets.
That's right. It's
Daniel Lewis.
$5 a ticket,
Or
or
make me
or
4 of
5
them.
tickets for $20.
Okay, 5 tickets for 20.
You
That's
go
what I
buy
want.
one ticket and charge the next one to Daniel Lewis Quisenberg.
Please put my name on there because he'll win it, and then I'll be like,
That was my
That
ticket.
was my ticket, man.
Yeah, it was
that's a good
little,
shotgun,
It
man.
was a little cool when we was out there right there. That's one of my grandkids that was at Hardin Reynolds Elementary School.
What's her name, if you don't mind?
Savannah
don't
Carroll.
Okay.
Savannah.
Savannah,
Look
shout
at the
out
smile.
to you.
Yeah.
Hardin Reynolds,
That's
that's
She
where
was
I
at
went.
Hardin Reynolds.
Yeah, that's where I went, Hardin Reynolds.
Yeah,
I was a rebel.
they invited me. That's 2 of my other grandkids there. That's Adeline and Isaiah.
I love them.
That's at Stewart Elementary School. That was
you
at the
go.
Veterans Ceremony up
Yes.
there.
You sure you ain't the grandpa of some of my kids? Cause
Maybe.
They always have a great Veterans Memorial service up there at the
Locke used
Stewart.
to do that.
Yeah, we
And they,
the boys
they
used-
I worked
always
at-
bring in a nice spread for us to eat and stuff.
That's
yes,
good.
I worked at the Landmark Center. We would always take our veterans up there from Blue Ridge and Landmark, and I mean, you could eat nice spread. I mean, and also just honored them. You know,
Oh, yeah.
you go out there into the gym, and they got you there, and would name them all, and you know, we'd help them.
And I
get
love
up
that,
stuff.
you know, to be
Right.
honoring the veterans
Right.
and then teaching the young kids to honor the veterans,
Yes.
you know, and to become one
Yes.
themselves.
Yes,
That's great.
we had several World War II veterans. I mean, it was just amazing.
Now, is this at the fair?
That is at the agricultural fair. That is our booth that was set up. There was a couple of our workers that would come out.
Right,
That's great.
I have to remember that. Got to stop on by, see him again.
I'm trying to sell them raffle tickets to win that gun. Everybody needs a good shotgun.
They do.
Absolutely.
Now how do you get a raffle ticket now? Where do you go?
You get with us, at the members there.
Okay.
Also have a couple of businesses that, you know.
So on your
trying to work.
Facebook, if I put that below the YouTube channel, you could they can just message you,
Message me
message
and
you personally.
I will meet
okay,
them.
cool.
Now, you are more than welcome to put something down at Boys Holland.
Okay. I'll bring you a book of tickets down there.
And the reason I say that is because we're one of a few businesses in Patrick County that bring outside customers
A lot.
in to Patrick
lot.
County.
Right.
I would say about 65% of our customers
From outside.
are from outside
Not from
Patrick County.
Right.
And there's not too many businesses, and
Say that.
I'm not knocking them.
I will.
But there's not there's not too many businesses in Patrick County that brings that type of people into our community
Right.
like that. So you're more than welcome to put up something there.
Well, I'm telling you,
give you a book of tickets, and we'll
tell
see
you
what we can
something.
come up with. We'll
Thank you.
Try to get.
She gave me the finger. I'm going to tell you something right now.
Oh, she really did
Just a little
that
bit of
time. I
truth.
seen it.
All right. She gave me the finger on that one. Just a little bit of truth, something I have to say. Patrick County Tourism, the Patrick County government is always supporting Primlin, always putting Primlin first. It's the #1 tourism draw. Yeah, if you make over $100,000 a year, you can go to Primlin and play you some golf. And you can see effing Pilot Mountain from on top of the mountain. But if you need your dog spayed or neutered, Boys Holland Veterinary Services. I just don't like how they always, if you go onto their Facebook, Primlin is like every other 2 or 3 posts. Primlin, 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 Primlin. I know they bring a lot of tourism money into the county. But you need to sponsor all these other ones that's been hard working for a very long time, 42 years, Boys Holland Veterinary Services, amongst all these other ones, and to be able to support those groups and those people also. So that's all I got to say about that.
Well, I
There's
appreciate that.
More I could fire up about it, but
But we do. But like I said, we have a lot of people coming in there from our surrounding counties.
lot of people.
And they'll probably want to win that shotgun too.
Right.
Bring it back down here to Martinsville and do some
yes.
mischief.
Get your hair cut at the top of Main Street, right near not right near the courthouse.
With
What's the name of the
Uptown Cuts Barbershop.
Uptown Cuts?
Right.
Get you a coffee over at Stagecoach.
What you got over there? You got tickets over there? Okay,
Yeah.
you can get your tickets over there, get your hair
Yeah.
cut. I don't have that problem. I I would come see you to get my hair cut, but it don't happen that way.
Anyways,
Don,
I need one.
Incredible, man.
Thank you.
I thank you for being a
Thank you for
friend
your
throughout the
service,
years,
brother.
and thank you
man.
for your service.
Yeah, thank
maybe
you for
we could
coming
have
out.
you come back out here and do some more.
Sure.
sometime.
Yeah, I appreciate you putting
All
up
right.
with us, man. I hope the raffle goes good. We're going to put it down there at the bottom. Just everything. I hope it just really goes work
Right.
out.
I hope
Y'all
some
are-
people donate. I hope some people rent your facility out for graduations coming
Yeah.
up here in about 2 months.
$50.
About $50.
$50.
You
$50
can't beat
around
that.
Right.
You see that
Huge.
hall with the tables and the
You saw
chairs
it.
and the kitchen?
It's huge.
Go out there, call them up. Anyways, y'all be real and come on back.
Come on back. Appreciate y'all.